Hello and welcome out, my friends. You are in for an absolutely incredible treat. Tonight is week one of an exciting new 8-week boot camp packed with some powerful speakers and trainers that are absolutely going to be laying it all out on the line, sharing their passion, sharing fundamental steps to kick you off into a great finish to the year. I mean, we're 20 weeks out from convention. What a great opportunity right now to grab the reins of your business, change direction and where you've been headed, and go to the next level. No better way than this to start tonight with my friend, Mr. Brian Bohlke. My goodness, I hope that you all have your pens and papers out. I hope that you're ready to take notes and absorb everything he's going to share with you. If you don't already know the guy, man, I could share the countless accolades that you see there in front of you. He and his wife, Jacqueline, are Emerald directors. They're members of the Independent Distributor Councils. They've earned over $1 million with USANA. But the more important thing here is their passion and their heart for serving you, for serving us, for making this organization, Team Illuminate, for making USANA a better place for everyone. You know, this business is willable. The legacy that Brian and Jacqueline have created will impact your children as well if you stick around for the ride. That's pretty exciting and powerful stuff. They have two beautiful children at home that they're both able to be stay-at-home parents with. They have no accounts receivable, no accounts payable. They have a gigantic business that spans into 8 countries around the world, earning a multiple six-figure income a year. My gosh, the best part about Brian and Jacqueline, I tell you what, is they've proven that this works. That you can build a gigantic organization that will pay you in the highs and lows of your life to overcome those obstacles, but they're doing it for the right reasons, to serve people. And with that being said, there's no better person to kick this boot camp off than my friend, Mr. Brian Bohlke. Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Wow, Chris, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about tonight. Let's go ahead and get this puppy started because I've got a lot to cover with you guys. Obviously, this is a boot camp. I know there will be possibly some guests that will be on the call that are here to learn more about USANA, obviously. Just doing a little last minute setup here. Let's go ahead and get my webcam up and running so you guys can see me. Hang on one second. All right. Hello, Team Illuminate. Hope you guys weren't expecting me in a suit or anything too fancy because it's all right, there we go. Sitting here in my office upstairs in my beautiful house in San Antonio, and I will tell you that we're actually getting a pretty nasty storm blowing through right now, and it's in the first part of March, and it froze last night, which is very unlikely for San Antonio. But I do know there's going to be some guests on the call this evening, and I'm excited to have you guys out. But this is really mainly meant for associates. This is going to be in-depth training. I'm going to be walking you guys through a lot of information. I know that kicking off this 8-week boot camp, many of you from outside of San Antonio and even outside of Texas and outside the United States, for that matter, have been asking very intensively that you want good training. And so we've put together this 8-week boot camp for you guys, basically to give you guys what you need and what you want in order to help you build your business a little bit better. So many of you guys know me, but for those y'all don't, I'm going to real briefly just show you that I'm a family man. I love being a dad, love being a husband. Very much an outdoorsy guy, real involved in baseball. Actually, my son's baseball for spring season just started this evening, and I'm coaching again. So we just had first practice this evening in 46-degree weather, but it was interesting. But I'm looking forward to another good season. Love to travel. Been some really cool places with our family, not just my wife and I, but taking our kids on some cool stuff. Just got back our last trip, which is a cruise, and we're looking forward to doing some more traveling here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. The family of Team Illuminate, I got to tell you, I absolutely love and adore. I have some of the greatest people that I've ever, not just in USANA, but that I've ever met in my life in my organization inside USANA. As you can see from some of these photos here, that there's just some great family unity in this team, and I really love it. And it's definitely not me. They might have started with me a long time ago, but it's because of many of you leaders and associates that have wholeheartedly just embrace the vision of what Illuminate is, and you're teaching it to your family and your friends, and you're engulfing people into the idea of helping people become healthy and, of course, wealthier as well. My ministry obviously is very important to me. Many of y'all that know me personally know how important that is to me. But let's go back. This was me literally 1979 or 1980. This was in our home in Nebraska, and as you can see there, I was raised in a household of network marketing. My parents were in Amway for I don't know how many years, possibly even decades, maybe even a good way to put it. But I was raised in a household that was taught to work hard, My parents always had full-time jobs, but they also would, always have things on the side. My dad owned a computer company. We always had a ranch. They had a home-based network marketing company. Um, so they were always very busy, and they taught us a lot about, working hard and working smart and doing some things differently. And so I will tell you that my parents taught me some of the basics, necessities of what it takes to build a business like this. My dad was tragically killed about a year and a half ago, but this was him all the way up until the day that he died. The guy had a full time job and also worked a full time ranch, had full time cattle, had a full time hay farm, and that's all he knew how to do was to work hard, and he truly instilled that in me. And many of you guys and ladies that are my age, I'm in my mid 30s. I will tell you that most likely you were raised by parents just like this, which they worked hard from sun up to sundown, and that's really the world and the industry that generation was really raised in. And I got to tell you, things have drastically changed. Things are different today for my generation, and I've even met and I work with a lot of kids that are in their 20s. I hate to call them kids, young men, young adults that are in their 20s. That you want to talk about the world really changing for them. It is a completely different world out there, and they've got to be taught new ways of earning income. They have to be taught new ways of generating income streams outside of just working a job, because many of you know how difficult the industry of just trying to find a job is today. So let me just tell you that what I'm going to cover with you guys tonight is a lot of basics, some few advanced things, and definitely take some notes because I got a lot of slides. I'm going to be screaming through this stuff really fast. But I'm going to teach you guys why I do this. I'm a logical guy. I went to school at Texas Tech University. Many of you guys don't think I'm logical because I went to Texas Tech, but nonetheless, I have a business degree. I became a finance guy for Wells Fargo. I was a banker there, and I was taught like most people: go to school, get good grades, get a degree, go out and get the high-paying, safe, secure job with benefits, and you're going to work that job for the next 40 plus years of your life. And that's what I did. I became very, very good at building my life, and my income revolved around that concept. So I changed my perspective and I changed my influence. Not overnight. It was one piece information here, one piece information there, one piece information there. And what I got to tell you is I'm a very logical thinker. So the information that I had to receive had to be very logical. So as I learned more and more about the financial world, about the economy, about all these different variables in the world today, it started to create this desire in me to basically look for an alternative stream of income. And I will tell you that it's mind-boggling today, for my own personal life, for me to think that I would be doing anything else. Not only because of financial rewards, but because of what this type of industry can really do for your life from a time perspective as well. So let's dive into this. I do want to tell you that obviously, from a standpoint of USANA, for some of you new associates that are on the call this evening, this is USANA's North American average earnings statement. We are a publicly traded corporation on the New York Stock Exchange, so all of our financial books are open to the public. Go check out our stock. We're right in the mid 70s right now, which is really good. But as you can see down here at the bottom, it says $76,000 is the average yearly income of the established full-time USANA associate. Okay, $25,000 is the annual average of those who earn as little as one commission check each month, and we get paid every week. So if you earn as little as one check every 4 weeks, or every 4 cycles, 7 days, you're earning on an average about $25,000. So I got to tell you that that's pretty good numbers for a publicly traded corporation. And of course, as Chris mentioned, we are Emerald directors on a weekly basis in the United States. Here we are in the top 5 Emeralds. So it kind of gives you a perspective of what our weekly averages are. Now, I'm bringing that up mainly because what I'm going to talk about, obviously many of you know that what USANA offers are 2 solutions. We offer solutions to health. We offer solutions to finances. And I'm not going to talk about health tonight. I want to kick off tonight, talk about how to build a business. I want you guys to understand that over the last few years of my life, I've devoted so many hours to try and create a residual income so that I could free up my time. But in that transition period, yes, I had a full-time job. I was working 60 hours a week at the bank. My wife also had a full-time job. So we had to make that transition period, which was quite a few years, to transition out of that demand or that need for a full-time income by reporting to a job. So I understand what it takes. I'm going to talk to you guys about what are some of the logical pieces of information that I needed to learn to cause me to start adding more time on a weekly basis towards my business. Because as little time that I did have, I had to find those few hours, those nooks and crannies in my life. So what causes somebody to actually start doing that? What causes you to start devoting more time out of your life towards your business? Maybe you're already devoting 10 hours a week. What causes you to devote another 5 to 10 hours a week to help step up your rate of return on your income, or your rate of return on the time of what you receive that income? So again, I'm not talking about health tonight. I'm talking about finances. I'm going to cover quite a bit. Um, I will say that as a banker, one of the biggest pieces of information that I learned was what it was going to take to retire. I had to study, and I was literally taught the financial, realm of what the numbers actually look like when it comes to retirement in this country. Sadly, that was 15 years ago, and it's only gotten worse. So statistically, when you look at some of these numbers, which many of you guys have seen numbers like this, unfortunately, what's happening is you look at people like this on the screen, and what I find more and more today is they are living in a reality that is completely false. What they believe this world to be is not really what the financial world is. People are completely out of touch of what the financial reality of what this country and what this globe, this world actually looks like. And I have to tell you, if you really want to create a desire in your life to build your business, if you're looking, I get people all the time, Brian, what's the next best book? What can I read to really help just motivate me to go build my business? Some of the best things you can do is you need to scare the crud out of yourself and start going reading some financial New York Times magazines or newspapers on a daily basis. Start looking at what's happening with corporations and what's happening with our debt as an economy. Because the more and more you learn about some of the negativities, and there's a lot of them from a financial standpoint, when you read books by like Robert Kiyosaki and you see him talk about why financially you need an alternative stream of income, your brain just doesn't say, oh, that's interesting. You say, well, now I understand why. So it's all about self-education, of course. But I will tell you that this was a piece of information that I learned that drastically changed how I looked at where I was spending my time on a weekly basis. Because I had a full-time job, and I was waking up at 7 o'clock every morning and reporting to work by 8, sometimes working from 5 to 6 to 7 o'clock at night, and also taking my work home. We also worked on Saturdays because banks are open on Saturdays, right? So let's talk about this. Many of you have probably seen this, but I know many of you have never seen this. And if you have seen it, I want you to just pay close attention, because you probably haven't seen it in a while. And if you're on this webcast trying to take your business to another level, you need a good refresher, right? So here's the deal. The average person works about 50 hours a week. Am I right? And out of those 50 hours a week, how many weeks of the year are you going to work? The average person is going to work about 50 weeks out of the year because they're going to take off hopefully about 2 weeks for good behavior, right? Paid vacation, hopefully, if you've been at a company long enough. So how many hours per year are you now working? You're going to spend about 2,500 hours per year trading your time for money, right? Going to your job. If you lose that job, you're going to go out and look for another job. I had a conversation with a guy at the gym today. He says, yeah, I just started my new position last Thursday. I said, that's fantastic. He was with the previous company. He's probably had 3 jobs since the last time I've seen him. I feel bad for the guy, but he also understands USANA. So he's building his business part-time for that reason, but he's still in that grind on a daily basis working his job. Now, I mentioned working 40 years of your life trying to accomplish, right, this income, whatever this income is supposed to look like for you to eventually do what, which is retire. So you're going to spend out of 2,500 hours per year doing that for 40 years of your life. Friends, you're going to spend 100,000 hours of your life trading time, trying to make enough money just to earn enough money to eventually do what? The whole goal here is to do what? The whole goal is to retire, right? To eventually get to the point where you can leave your job because you've made enough money, okay? So if we look at what self-dependency looks like, out of those 100,000 hours, let's say you earn about $60,000 a year, okay, over the course of your 40 years of your life. You might be under that right now. But hopefully as you work your career, as you get older, your income goes up a little bit. So let's say you earn an average about $60,000 a year over the course of your 40-year career, which is about a $25 or $24 per hour job. So 100,000 hours of your life times $24 an hour, right? You're going to generate $2.4 million of income in your life, of gross income. So the question is what do you do with that money? What you do with that money is you spend it, right? You live, you buy your car, you pay for gas, you buy groceries, you pay for your electricity bill, you have a mortgage, you pay rent, you do whatever it is that you do in your life, and you live. And here's the problem. Friends, these are basic numbers that probably majority of you, actually I know the majority of you fall under. And here's the problem is if in order for you to retire, hopefully you don't spend it all. Right? $2.4 million is not a whole lot of money when you spread it out over 40 years of your life. Okay? So if you look at this type of life and you got 2.4 million, you spend all your money on your entire life, you pay for kids' colleges, whatever it might be. Hopefully you saved enough money left over to then retire off of that chunk of change. Now, unfortunately, if you were anything like me before I went through my financial education at the bank, I had no idea what that chunk of change needed to look like. And I'll tell you, it just makes me sick the more and more commercials I see on TV of retirement financial organizations, institutions saying, we're going to help you retire, follow this green path, this green arrow. We're going to teach you the way to get there. But what's sad is they never once tell you on the screen what it takes. And when you go sit down with them, they just tell you, yeah, well, just give us your money and we'll start putting it away from you. They never really tell you, here's what it's going to take. Because I'll tell you, here's the sad part. The harsh reality is it's a lot. It's too much than you're ever going to make in your life, and I'll prove it to you. So here's a basic financial retirement chart. If you want to retire on the analogy that I'm using, which is $60,000 a year. So let's say you work your entire life, making $60,000 every year your entire life, making yourself that 2.4 million total. Spend what you have to, save what you can. And let's say when you want to retire, you still want to earn that same $60,000 a year, right? You want to live and stay accustomed to your lifestyle. Now, for you financial gurus, of course, I'm not even bringing in the concept of inflation yet. So pretty much just knocks a big chunk of whatever hope you have left over in what I'm about to say. But let's put inflation aside. And let's just say that you can still, in 40 years, 30 years, or even 20 years, retire on the same income that you're making today, which is 60 grand a year. So if you want to retire on 60 grand a year for the rest of your life, which is $5,000 per month, what kind of interest rate can you get on your money is the question. In today's economy, I'll tell you, it's way less than 2%. But in the financial chart that I've got on the screen, it's only as low as 2%. So we're going to deal with that one. So if you want to retire on $60,000 a year, friends, you're going to have to save $3 million in the bank in order for that money to generate you $60,000 a year. So let me ask you a question. How much money did you totally earn in your entire life? 2.4 million. Before you bought one loaf of bread or put one fill up of gasoline in your car, you still aren't even anywhere close to the 3 million that you need to retire on your money. So the harsh reality is this. What makes you different? If the average statistics state that 95% of the population that retires today, or sorry, not retires, that hits the age of 65 today, is either dead broke, living off of family, friends, or the federal government for means of support, or they're still working. Now that 95% was there was a statistic that was about 10 years old. So they say now it's either between 97 and 98% of the population falls into one of those four categories at the age of 65 years old. So 2 to 3%, friends, of the population actually gets to the point where they're able to retire at the age of 65 and still have $100,000 a year coming into the bank accounts. So the question is, what separates those people? If you're still depending on job security, if you're still going to a job trying to make a little bit of money just to make ends meet every day, the question is, one day you'll be 65 years old. What's going to separate you from the statistics? I'll tell you right now, this is not going to do it. I have so many people that play the lottery. It makes me sick. It's a complete throw of money away. I do not play the lottery. If I've ever played the lottery, it's because I was told to buy somebody a birthday gift or a Christmas gift to put in the stocking stuffer. I hate playing the lottery. Don't understand it. Don't get it. It's a ploy on poor people is what I believe it is. It gets everyday average people spending, I see people spend paychecks on lotto tickets for that one chance, baby, to make millions. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you ever watched the show, The Lottery Made Me Broke, how many of y'all ever seen those shows where people, they win millions and then inside 7 to 10 years, they're either completely broke, they've either got a divorce, lost their kids, lost their family. Here's why. Friends, being wealthy is not about an amount of money that you have in the bank. It's an education. Wealth is how smart you are about money. It's not the amount of commas that you have in your bank account. Just winning the money is not going to allow you to keep the money. It's learning about money that's going to teach you how to earn that type of money. You follow me? So I'm going to teach you some things that at 35 years old has allowed my wife and I and my family get to the point where we have not had jobs in over 7 years. We have not reported to a boss in over 7 years. We have business that spans 8 countries, and yes, we make a multiple 6-figure income whether or not I get out of bed every morning. And that's a crazy thought to me. I mean, I never would have expected to be there if I hadn't learned new information. But I love it now because I get to teach this to people. I was an everyday average guy, just hungry for a way to get out of what I was doing. So here's 4 major principles that you need to know about business. Successful residual income. Number 1, you need a huge expanding market. You need to be involved in something that people are buying. If you were the greatest manufacturer of vinyl records today, would you have a very good market? I don't believe so, right? You need a unique consumable product. You need to be involved with a company or a corporation that's selling something that people want. It has to be a need. Sorry, they have to need it, they not want it. Because if it's a want and their budget or their bills get tight, the first thing to go, friends, is wants. I'll tell you right now, if it's something that people need, they keep that around in their budget because it's a necessity, right? Timing is absolutely crucial. I'm going to talk about some timing. I'm going to talk about the importance of the ability of creating leverage. That was a new concept to me, and I love the idea of leverage, right? So let's talk about the industry of network marketing, an expanding market, okay? Network marketing, friends, right now is absolutely booming. And if you don't think so, again, start reading. You need to be paying a close attention to what's going on in the industry right now. More than 90 million people are involved in this industry worldwide. And in North America alone, friends, our sales have reached $30 billion a year. If you look at the highest grossing in billions of dollars of the industries worldwide, I want you to look at this for a second. First thing that caught my attention as a sports guy is the NFL. The NFL grosses $9.5 billion. And you start thinking about how big the NFL is, right? 9.5 million, that's it. Look at the music industry, 16.5 billion. Look at the amount of money the people that make in the music industry that do this and do it right. Look at the movie industry, $80 billion. Does it even get close? Friends, network marketing is a $167 billion industry in the world. And here's why. What's important for you to understand is this. All network marketing does, friends, is this. It takes a product that's manufactured at a manufacturing facility. Everything. Cell phones, remotes, this plastic water bottle that you saw on a plug there. All of these things are manufactured. The shirts that we wear, boom, another USANA plug. Everything that we use is made in a manufacturing facility. Now, Marketing 101 states this. Where's my mouse at? There's it at. Marketing 101 states this. By the time you take a product from a manufacturing facility in China, India, South America, Africa, wherever, United States, and it goes through that national distributor, goes through that regional distributor, through a local distributor, right, to the retail sales, then you have to add in all the cost of advertising for us to know about that product. That states, Marketing 101 states that 75% or 75 cents of every dollar is eaten up in this middleman cost. So by the time you're buying that product, for a product that costs $1 to make, you're spending $4 on it. You follow me? All network marketing does, friends, is this. It bypasses the middleman. That's all it does. It takes products directly from the manufacturer straight to the consumer. I want you to think like Amazon. All Amazon does is it takes a product right from the manufacturing warehouse directly to your doorstep. Now, where Amazon spends their money is in advertisement. Okay, they advertise to you so that you shop on Amazon. They give you back a bigger chunk of discount on products out of that money as well. right? They also have to pay for their warehouses to be able to ship these products very effectively. So of the 75% of money that's being going from the manufacturer to the consumer, a huge chunk of that now is going directly to Amazon. That's all we do. So what the internet or the TV is to Amazon, we become that for USANA. We are the marketing arm. We're the advertisement firm for USANA Health Sciences. So a big chunk of their revenue and how they divvy up their business, a big chunk of that money goes back into the pockets of the marketing arm of that, which is the distributors force of the company, right? So what's the big deal? When you look at network marketing and wellness and you combine these two together, the perfect storm of opportunity, friends, is where this exists. So not only is network marketing ever expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, especially with the economy going down, here's what is happening. People are looking for alternative ways of making money from home part-time, right? So you partner that now with a massive demand in wellness. Our health obviously is getting worse and worse, which I'm not going to talk about tonight, but you guys know the importance of good wellness. You partner this up, it's becoming the perfect storm of opportunity. Paul Zane Pilzer, who is probably one of the most renowned world economists that's ever walked planet Earth, he wrote a book called The Next Trillion. The Next Trillion talks about this perfect storm of opportunity. And here's what he talks about in the book. He says, if you look at the largest buying population that's ever walked planet Earth, it's the baby boomers, right? They make it 76 million people just in the United States alone and 1 billion people worldwide, okay? So these people, 76 million in the United States, 1 billion worldwide, have all been crammed into about an 18-year period of time. What ended up happening is all the soldiers came back from war, from World War II, came home, boom, had all these babies, the baby boom exploded, and here's what happened. Check this out. They compare it to like the timeline of population, which is this real skinny line. They say it's almost like squeezing a basketball through the population timeline. It's just this massive bubble of a population explosion. And as this bubble has moved through time, literally products at the time of their life that they demand, the products or the corporations that are moving these products just erupt and they explode. They become huge corporations. So let's look back in the 40s when the first generation, the first age of first babies being born in this generation, and the boom started to explode. What do babies need? Mattel, Pampers, Fisher Price, Gerber baby food. Major corporations still around today. Why? Because 76 million babies over the next 18 years, all we're going to need these products. Okay. 1955, the most amount of elementary schools ever built in any 10-year period of time in the history of the United States was in the year 1955. 1965, that age bracket is now at the oldest is 20, and the youngest is pretty much still being born, right? So the next 20 years, this age bracket's all going to start driving cars. They're going to start hanging out with their friends. The fast food industry exploded. The Ford Mustang, hottest, fastest growing car at that time, right? Look at the 80s. What ended up happening in the late 70s? That age bracket's getting in the middle 20s. The youngest is still in their 5 to 10 years old. Here's what's happening. They're wanting to get married and have kids. So what do they need? They need a home. The real estate boom exploded, right? For the next 18 years, the largest buying population of planet Earth started buying homes. There were presentations, not like this because they didn't have the technology, but there were presentations in homes and in hotels where they were telling people, sell everything that you have and get into real estate. Why? Well, because 76 million people are going to start buying products soon, these homes. Look at 1995, discount superstores. When that generation got to the point where now they're having kids and these kids were getting older, this was my family growing up. I remember these days. We would go through a gallon of milk every 2 days, right? We were drinking up milk like crazy, eating cereal bowls that were in bowls like this, right? Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You didn't eat bowls out of bowls like this, man. They were like bowls like this, right? So we went through a lot of food. So if my mom could save $4 by buying 40 rolls of toilet paper as opposed to 4, she'd do it. So Sam Walton became the wealthiest man in the world, guys, in less than 15 years. Why? Because he took advantage of a major, ever-expanding trend. 2005. This new wellness boom is exploding. Right now we're at 2012, and I got to tell you, every 7 and 8 seconds for the next literally 18 years, 65 or all of these baby boomers are going to be turning 65 years old every 7 and 8 seconds for the next 18 years straight. And what's crazy is they had 80 million children. Friends, this is going to be an industry that never stops. Health and wellness is exploding. The home-based industry is exploding. USANA is in the prime opportunity for you to take advantage of this right now, right? So don't take my word for it. Look at guys like Donald Trump, who was asked by David Letterman, if you lost everything, and I mean everything, all over again, what would you do? He says, man, I'd find the best network marketing company and I'd get to work. Okay, the audience at the David Letterman show snickered and laughed at him quietly. And David Letterman turned to the audience and says, you know what? That's why you sit out there and that's why I sit up here. Education about money, right? Look what Bill Gates says. Okay, it's not even him. Look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett now owns 3 network marketing companies. He said it was the best investment he ever made. Robert Kiyosaki wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Many of you guys have probably read that. If you hadn't, you need to. Again, it's all about self-education. His most recent book, I love it, called The Business of the 21st Century. If you guys don't know what the cash flow quadrant is, you need to learn what the cash flow quadrant is, because network marketing is now categorized as a big B business quadrant. It used to be an S quadrant, because the idea of network marketing in the old days was you had to inventory product, you had to stock it in your garage, and you literally had to trade time for money. You had to go travel and take your products to your family and friends, and literally in exchange for money. We don't do that anymore. I don't inventory product. I don't deliver product. I don't handle the money. Everything is taken care of by USANA. I have a beautiful 800 employee corporation that works for me for free every day. All I have to do is educate consumers on our product, right? So it has now made the shift from the S quadrant to the big B quadrant, because it's taking advantage fully now of a leveraging of a system, okay? So here's the question I have for you guys. Some of the greatest brains in this world are right here. Some of the wealthiest men that's ever existed are right here on the screen. The question is, what do you think they teach their children? Are they teaching their kids to go get a college degree? Are they teaching their kids to go work 40, 60 hours at a job for somebody else? Absolutely not. I'll tell you what they're teaching them. They're teaching them how to own businesses. They're teaching them how to create leverage. They're teaching them how to reduce their tax liability. They're teaching them how to create that time leverage by the efforts of other people. And they're teaching them absolutely from a young age how to create residual income in their life. I'm teaching my children all of these things as well. I don't want my kids working a job. It ain't no fun working a job. I have never met anybody in my life that says, oh, I can't wait to be 65 years old and still be working the same dead job that I'm at now and only making 30 grand a year and hopefully still keeping it. Never in my life. No one ever said that, right? What I do hear people say is, oh my gosh, I wish I could find something that can allow me to get out of my situation, help me earn more income. If I could create some time leverage and free up some time in my life, I'd be all about it. That's what I hear people say. And that's what I'm teaching my kids, is how to create that today as opposed to the old school ways of doing it, right? So let's talk about it. How do you minimize your liabilities? Listen, I didn't understand taxes, okay? I've been self-educated on taxes. Thank goodness my dad understood taxes. I had someone that I could ricochet information off of, right? Here's the bottom line. There are 2 tax strategies in the United States. 98% of the population follows one of them. About 2% of the population follows the other. I don't think I need to explain it very much, but 98% of the population that's dead broke, right, follows one of those, and the other 2% that's wealthy follows the other one. The question is, which one do you think you follow? Here's what it is. 98% of the population follow the tax strategy of the employee, meaning that you go to work and you get paid and you get a W-2 statement. Every paycheck that you get, the government takes their taxes out before you even see your money. So you literally pay tax on every dime that you make, and you never get to see it. You live on what's left over. So you pay tax first, and then you pay all your bills second. So whatever cash you take home from your job is now what you live off of. You pay your cell phone bill, your mortgage, your car payment, your gas, your food, etc. Okay? The 2%ers, 3%ers, flip that. They work on a corporation type tax strategy. And yes, today you can actually switch that and become a self-employed business owner from home without having to start the major corporations, the big buildings like a Bill Gates had to. Okay? It's the beauty of the home-based industry. It allows you to switch the tax strategy, and here's what it looks like. Instead of you paying taxes first, you take all of your money home, you live on it, you pay your bills, you pay your cell phone bill, your electricity bill, your mortgage, your rent, your gas, your food. And then what's left over, you then pay tax on. So what ends up happening is, because of your home-based tax breaks, now you are opening the door for legitimate tax deductions. So of all the money that you actually earned, now if you still have a W-2 job, here's what this looks like. You're still going to pay tax out of your every week paycheck. But at the end of the year now, you're going to have tax deductions, meaning that, like your cell phone bill, if you have a home-based business, you're able to now deduct a portion of your cell phone bill off of your taxes at the end of the year. a portion of your home mortgage, your electricity bill, and your water bill based on the square footage of your office, a portion of your car, your mileage on your vehicle, your oil changes, all these things that you now use to run your business. Yeah, it takes a little bit of work, but I'll tell you right now, here's the deal. Do you want to stay where you're at, or do you want to learn how to do it? So we teach these things, okay? This is the beauty of joining Team Illuminate, is we do trainings on some of these variables and start helping people learning how to get a lot of this money back in their pocket. I was just down in Corpus last weekend. Sat with an associate down there, Mary Elliott, who sat and told me, she goes, Brian, I got the largest tax return of my life. She says, this thing has helped me out so much. I was able to pay off all my debt, paid off all my credit cards. I now am almost free. She goes, I don't have any bills. She goes, I've never been there before in my entire life, and it's all because I started this home-based business a few years ago. So there's multiple attributes that a home-based business can apply in your life, and minimizing your tax liability is obviously one of them. I would highly encourage you to go read this book called Lower Your Taxes Big Time. Friends, I'll tell you, if you know me, I'm a big advocate on self-development. I have a lot of people all the time say this business is hard, I'm struggling, and all I got to do is ask them, what was the last book that you read? Many times people go, I haven't started reading yet. Listen, you don't build a business because you get on webcasts. You don't build a business because you learn about tax strategies. You build a business, friends, because you self-educate yourself and you get smarter. That's how you build a business. That's how you increase your income. You got to self-educate. Let's talk about time leverage. Never understood the concept. I understood how to leverage money because that's what everybody's taught. What I explained earlier, save your way to retirement, save your money, leverage your money. Robert Kiyosaki says the hardest thing for you to do is to leverage money. You want to know why? Because in order to leverage money properly, you have to have a whole heck of a lot of it, right? So instead, I'm going to teach you how to leverage time. Instead of spending 50 hours a week for 50 weeks out of the year, doing that for 40 years of your life, what if I could show you how to generate the same amount of 100,000 hours in your life in 2 years as opposed to 40? Would you want to know how to do it? My answer was absolutely. So let's say you put in 10 hours a week. And I'm not talking 10 hours checking emails. I'm not talking 10 hours checking Facebook. Listen, I want to teach you guys that what it takes to build USANA is hard work. And it takes serious dedication. If you want to get to the point where you're making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, you're going to have to learn how to run a business. You're going to have to self-educate yourself, okay? 10 hours a week of revenue-generated activities, meaning that these are things that are going to help you increase your income. And we're going to teach you through this system how to find 100 people to do the exact same thing. Okay, 100 people inside your team generating 10 hours a week also. Now you're tapping into what the 2%ers of the world do, which is leverage off of the efforts of other people. Currently, if you're an employee, somebody else is leveraging you. There's always leverage taking place, friends. Either you're being leveraged or you're doing the leveraging, okay? If you have 10 hours a week and you have 100 people doing that, you're now somehow generating an income of 1,000 hours per week. What's interesting is only 168 hours in a week for all of us. So you just did what the average person can never do, which is break the time barrier. You're now generating an income of about 1,000 hours a week when there's only 168 hours a week. Friends, if you take the same 50 weeks out of the year, you do that for 2 years, you're going to generate 100,000 hours in 2 years of your life, which is going to take you sometimes over 40 years in your life to generate on your own at a job. Now, call me crazy. If you don't do it in 10 years and you're really horrible at this, and you do it in 10 years instead of 2, you can still take the next 30 years off. You follow me? It's not a matter about the race of how fast you can go. It's a matter of just starting today and doing something about it so that you're taking off years, literally taking off years from the end. So when that day does come and you're able to retire earlier than typical, you're able to live a better life, more money, right? More time. And lastly, I love this, residual income, baby, time freedom. Having income coming into your life, I'll tell you right now, if there's enough money every week, you ain't got to go back to a job, it'll definitely free up your time. So let's talk about what residual income looks like. The word residual income. Residual income is an income received on a regular basis with little effort required to maintain it. Now, many of y'all know the guy, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is retired, right? Made $40 million in endorsements in 2012. It's about $178,000 a day, whether or not he works or not. Actually, I just heard last year in 2013, he made $90 million. So his income went up. I definitely don't. I haven't seen that guy on the basketball court in a while. That's residual income. Okay? How about this guy? Michael Jackson. 3 years after he was killed, after he died, made $145 million in 2012. Now I'm sure it went up in 2013. I want you to think about that. That's residual income. So I'm going to ask you a question. Can you guys do what these two guys did? Do you have the talent of Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson? Are you capable of dancing or playing basketball? And I know some of you guys and ladies are like, oh yeah, you got some moves. Maybe you got a sweet little jump shot. I'll tell you right now, I don't think so. Okay? Here's what I'll tell you. Check this out. Bill Gates. If Michael Jordan saved 100% of his income for the next 450 years, friends, he still would have less than Bill Gates does today. So let me ask you a question. Can you do what Bill Gates does? The answer is absolutely. Because here's what Bill Gates did. He had a product that everybody in the whole wide world needed. The only place they could get it from was from him, and they had to buy the software every 2 years. Friends, USANA Health Sciences. They have a product that everyone in the whole wide world needs. The only place they can get it is from us. It's residual, it's consumable based product, and it's unique and exclusive. You can't go buy this product anywhere else in the world. You can do what Bill Gates did. You just have to learn how to build the system. So the wealthiest guy on the screen, all he did was he built a system. He didn't use a talent or a skill set. He built a system revolved around moving a product to a customer base of associates or customers, right? So let me introduce you to USANA Health Sciences. This is the beauty of what USANA is. It offers you a system that opens the door for tax savings, for time leverage capability, as well as residual income. You can see why I get fired up and why I'm so dedicated to my team and making sure that we provide education. But I'll tell you right now, friends, I am out all the time. Every single week, I am building our business. I'm constantly looking for new customers, constantly looking for new associates, the right people to fit in the right positions in my organization. Y'all already saw that. So let me kind of summarize some of this stuff. Creating cash flow as an asset in your business is very important to understand this. If you save $50,000 in the bank, which I know for a fact most of y'all don't have because I used to be a banker, in a 10% marketplace, that's only going to make you $5,000 a year. So saving $50,000 at a 10% marketplace only makes you $5,000 a year. In a 5% marketplace, which is still not even what we can get, it's only $2,500 a year. In a 2.5% marketplace, which is a little bit closer to where we are, but still far off, it's only $1,250 a year. But the numbers work out. Friends, that's $100 a month. So if you save $50,000 today, congratulations, you're going to get a whopping $100 check every month. Do you see why it's so difficult for the average person to retire? Because it's so hard to save the amount of money that's necessary, right? So if I could show you the way just to make $500 a week in USANA, which is so easy to do. I have so many of my associates that are making way more than that on a weekly basis, and I have a ton of them that are making between $400 and $600 a week, which is $2,000 a month, right? An extra $24,000 a year part-time, which is what the average person makes in USANA if you make as little as one commission check each month. Friends, that's equivalency to having $1.2 million saved in the bank at a 2% marketplace. That will pay you about $500 a month. $500 a week. So what's easier? Trying to save $1.2 million or build an asset from a business stream that generates you $500 a week in income? I'll tell you right now, it's way easier doing this than it is trying to save $1.2 million. And as you saw from the averages of an Emerald Director, it's about $19,000 a month. Friends, that's $11.8 million locked away in a bank somewhere at 2% interest. Yeah, it's not the actual cash in the bank, but I don't care how I get it. I don't care where it comes from as long as it's deposited in my bank account every Friday, right? As long as I can spend the money on my groceries, that's all I care about. So you got to realize that what poor people do is they work on the wrong tax system. They're personally limited on their time constraints because they're trading time for dollars every single day, and they never consider the idea of getting paid more than once for doing one thing. The only way people are thinking about making more money is to get a second job. Friends, I want to show you how to get paid multiple times out of doing one thing. Rich people focus heavily every day on reducing tax liabilities. Every day, I'm constantly looking at ways. If I'm spending money, can I write this off? Is this a legitimate tax deduction? I'm trying to create time leverage in everything that I do with the people that I'm around in my life because my focus is residual income. Friends, that is where freedom lies. So as I wrap up this portion, I want to tell you that the 4 things that USANA offers is very important. reducing your tax liability, creating time leverage in your life, creating that all important serious residual income, and then last but not least, your health, which is the beauty aspect that I didn't talk about tonight, which you all know that health is wealth. Because if you lose your health, it's very expensive. So not only is all the three other things I talked about paying you, but just by staying healthy is saving you financial income as well. So all four of these things are important in your life. You can see that when I sit with a new associate or with a guest looking at this company, it's not just about trying to sell them a product or trying to get them to make some income. I'm educating them on all of these variables. And the reason why my business grows so well is because I'm educated myself. I've self-educated myself on all these variables, so when I sit with somebody, I can educate them. So if you want to be able to build a business, if you want people to follow you in this business, how do you do it? Self-educate. You've got to learn these things, and you got to study these things. You ain't going to wake up tomorrow and just like, bloop. Man, if it was that easy, we'd all be wealthy. Okay? It takes hard work and dedication. What I love about USANA is you will find freedom in USANA by owning your own business. You're not alone. You have no employees, no set workplace. The variables of running a traditional business don't exist in this company. The flexibility is yours, right? So financial freedom can definitely be yours. Let me talk about the difference between linear and residual income. I've mentioned quite a few times tonight that the idea of going to work and getting paid to go to work, that is what they call linear income. You literally have to trade time for money. Residual income, friends, is the exact opposite. You get paid over and over and over and over again by doing things one time. Okay? Helping a new associate understand these four important principles, the better that they understand these four principles, the sooner you can go do what you want because they're now applying these in their life as well, right? So I'm going to teach you the 6 all-important things that I know about creating residual income from USANA's business. I'm going to give you some strategies on how I build my business, and I'm going to teach you the intricate details of how this compensation plan works in the last 10 minutes of tonight, okay? So number 1, yes, you can sell this product retail. You can take this product, you can buy it, you can turn on, you can sell it for a marked up retail price if you choose to. I don't do that. The main reason why is because I don't want to have the hassle of handling the product and selling a product. I look for preferred customers. Preferred customers are customers that pay the same price for the product that I do, and it's directly shipped to their doorstep. And USANA handles all the customer service for me. Okay, so they're my customer. I get to know them. They might take the health assessment from me, and then I teach them how to. I show them how to get their product ordered, and from that point on, USANA handles them. Then we're just there to. I'm there to just service them if they need help. Weekly commissions is a big area where I build my business. Lifetime matching bonus, all important aspect of USANA, but remember, it is a bonus. If you don't make it, it's totally okay. It's an absolute bonus. And extended programs, I'll tell you, all the travel that Jacqueline and I do, it's all USANA based. It really is. There's a few trips that we've taken on our own, but the cruises, the trips to Mexico and such, these are all USANA based trips. Leadership bonus, USANA takes 3% of the weekly earnings and divvies it up amongst leadership, and I'll explain to you guys a little bit more about what that means. And of course, elite bonus. If you want to get serious about tapping into a 7-figure income per year, you're the type of person that's going to want to know about what elite bonus is, all right? So let's break this down. You got to understand how this compensation plan works. You have to know how to maximize this compensation plan if you want to maximize your income. So the beauty about USANA is it's simple, okay? When you join the business, you place an order, you get a business center. Now, as you have your business center, you're looking for 2 people. These 2 people are going to become your brand new 2 new associates. We build a binary compensation plan. So you're looking for 2 people to join your organization off the bat. In this situation, sorry, my mouse is disappearing on me. In this situation, Bob, for instance, is your first associate on the left side, and Jill becomes your first associate on the right side, okay? Because we move a product, and that's all we do is we move product, Bob and his organization and Jill and her organization are going to generate volume sales. So on a weekly basis on Friday night at midnight Central Time, Mountain Standard Time, 1 o'clock Central Time, USANA is going to take a snapshot of your business. Whatever volume is generated in your business for that week is going to be your income base. So they're going to generate off of that base a paycheck based on 10% total sales, or to make it easy, it's a 20% off the lesser side. So in this situation, if you take these 2 numbers, basically what's going to happen is this. Take the lesser of the 2 sides, which is Bob's side, which is $1,400, multiply that by 20%, which is 10% from each side, right? Your check for that week will be $280. Very simple. If you look over here on the right-hand side, you'll see that out of the 1,500 points that you got paid off on Bob's side, 1,400 points of that was deducted on the matching volume. So there was 100 points of excess volume, which we call rollover volume, which just rolls over next week. So your left rollover is 0 because you got paid on the total of the amount on the lesser side. And on your stronger side, there was 100 points of continuous rollover volume, okay, that will be there for following week. Now, let's say you start with a 3 business center. That was the example of a 1 business center. On an example of a 3 business center is this. Let's say that same 1,400 points left, 1,500 points right. What ends up happening is you now own your first 2 positions in your business, making a total of 3 business centers. And now Bob just takes that position. Jill takes this position. And now you're able to bring on board 2 new associates on what we would call your front line. So you're now able to bring on board 4 people in your front positions because you now purchased your own front 2 positions as your second and third business center, right? So let's take the same amount of volume. Let's say 700 points was generated by Bob, 1,400 and 1,500. Divide that up amongst your business legs. 700 left, 700 right of your number 2 is a total of 1,400 points. 750 left, 750 right, total of 1,500 points. And yes, these volumes can be a combination of anything, right? This is just for an example. So to figure out what your paycheck would be in a 3 business center, same volume generated, but now watch what happens. That same 1,400 points is a lesser of your number 1 business center, right? Look at your number 2 business center. The lesser side is either one of the 700. Look at your number 3, either side of the 750, which that could have been 700 and 800. Of course, it would have been the 700 points, right? So you're going to total all the lesser sides up for a grand total of 2,850. Multiply that by 20%. Of course, what your check is that week is $570. So same amount of volume as the previous example of 1,400 left and 500 right. The difference between a 1 and a 3 business center, friends, is it's going to double the amount of payout that you have. Because now what's happening is instead of getting just paid on 1 business center, this 1,400 points is now divided amongst 2 legs, and you're actually going to capture volume on your number 2 as if it was its own entity, okay? Same thing on the 3. You take that same 1,500 points, divide it amongst 2 legs, and it's going to pay you off of that 750 left and 750 right, or whatever the volume might be for that week. So you're actually capturing volume twice as often as opposed to just one time before. Therefore, it's going to double your income, possibly even triple your income long term. Yes, you still have the same rollover volume, and everything is consistent and is the same. Now, for those of y'all that understand the reentries, once you do maximize the business center, meaning that you're generating 5,000 points left, 5,000 points right in any business center that you own, that will maximize the center. It's a $1,000 check out of that 1 business center, and you earn what they call a reentry certificate. Okay, those reentries can be placed anywhere in your organization. All you do is you go find 2 more people, and again, that business center will pay you again off of the lesser side a 20% payout. So this is an endless compensation structure. Every business center that you own can earn you more and more and more and more and more reentries. All you have to do to earn them is hit a $1,000 check per reentry. My wife and I have 11 or I think we have 12 business. We have 12 business centers now. We have 10 of them in the system. No, we're not making $10,000 a week. Obviously, you've seen the averages of the income. But 3 or 4 of those business centers are doing $1,000 a week, right? And all the other centers are making us anywhere between $40 and $800 a week, depending on what the volume is. And all that income, as you can see, just like in this scenario, is added up into one paycheck on a weekly basis. Okay, so I'm going to give you my strategy. This is the advanced portion, and I want you guys to pay attention to this for those of y'all that are serious about building your business and building it to a fast level. Okay, so many times I get asked, Brian, how do I build? Like, what is the basics to build? So listen, every situation is different, okay? I promise you, if you as an individual call me tomorrow, based on where your associates are, based on where your volume is, I might tell you a couple of tweaks in your situation than what I'm going to tell you right now. What I'm going to tell you right now is the basics. This is how I logically started out building my business. And as things grew, as new legs grew, or as things changed, or a new leader emerged there, I had to kind of adjust and rebuild or start over there and do that. This is the basics for how I want to teach every single one of you to build your business. This is maximizing your paychecks to the fullest, okay? So if you don't have a 3 business center, it's totally okay. You can do this with a 1 business center. Just if you want to, like, kind of take your 2 thumbs and just cover out the 2nd and 3rd business center. So all you see is your number 1, and then you see that Jill and Bob there, right? So if you have a 3, fantastic. You're gonna love it even more. If you have a 1 and you want a 3, you can upgrade. Just call your son up and say, I want to upgrade to a 3 business center. Go get with your goal director and above and say, I want a 3 business center. You can purchase additional product and actually upgrade to a 3 business center. Okay. So here's the strategy. Every single person that I work with, and this is what I did, preferably what I teach people to do is to build 2 legs. So the color coding in this situation is this. This left side of your business is color coded in green. The right side color coded in blue. The personal sponsorships that you're going to build are in pink. Okay. So these are people that you're currently sponsoring in your business. And this is what I did. I just sponsored deep, just straight down. And I did everything I possibly could to make sure I always put them. Sorry, where's my mouse? And I always put them on the right side over here, and I always put them on the left side over here. So I always knew exactly where they were going. I didn't have to look at the chart. I knew, nope, left side, left side, left side. Over here, it's right side, right side, right side. And then what I did is, like with guys like Matt, for instance, right here, I helped Matt as I started to sponsor more people. I would help Matt go sponsor somebody over here. I would teach Matt. I would do a presentation for Matt. I would help Matt increase his income. Why? Because any income that Matt generates now pays me, right? Whoever this person is, I'd help them go find their associates. Whoever this person is, I help them go find their customers and associates. Same thing with Bob. I sponsor Bob. I keep sponsoring below him. I help Bob go build his inside of his leg. Do I sponsor on the other side of the leg of Matt or Bob? No. I don't put people on the other side of these people's organizations. That's for them to go do. If you sponsor on the other side of Bob or Matt, you're going to give them a free ride. You're going to give them free paychecks. They're never going to have an incentive to work. You have to give people incentives to chase, right? People chase money. They chase it heavily every day. You teach them about how to earn money in USANA, and they'll go chase it. I promise you, right? So as you build your business, preferably 2 legs, and you build outside, what this is going to do is help solidify the associates in that business, okay? I have a lot of people that say, Brian, I want to build 4 legs wide immediately. The only situation or time that I ever allow that is if you can prove that you're really going to sponsor a lot of people. Most people that join this type of business are not heavy sponsor type people, okay? I was not a big time sponsor monster is what they call them. So I did not want to build 4 legs across very quickly because the average person doesn't do that. So there's reasonings for this. You want to build depth, and here's why. Is the deeper you get down your business, the more solid Matt's organization is. The moment Matt starts to build the other side of his leg, the faster Matt earns income. The faster you can help someone like a Matt earn income, the faster you can create a leader in that leg. The faster you create a leader in that leg, the less time you have to spend in that leg working in that leg. You want to develop leaders in your legs. All you have to do as become an Emerald Director is to have 4 leaders in each one of your 4 legs, and you're an Emerald Director generating $250,000 a year. You follow me? So I build depth for the purpose of looking for those associates that want to treat this serious. Now, I've told people, look, you might sponsor a Matt who's like a 4 or a 5 on a scale of a 10. He might be able to bring on board, I don't know, a 6 or a 7 on a scale of a 10. Then maybe somewhere down here in the organization, there's a 9 that comes on board. Friends, listen, if the person that sponsored that 9 is a 2, do not count on that 2 to train that 9. You need to go down and train that 9 on how to be a 10. Bypass them all and just tell Matt, tell Susie, tell Betty, whoever they are, say, listen, I love you to death. Don't get mad at me. Just watch me. I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to go down below here. I'm going to go take this massive leader and I'm going to help them build a business. Watch me do it and learn from me. Okay. It's easier that way. Now, as your organization starts to generate volume, you're always going to have an offset of left and right. So in this situation, it's 2,000 left, 3,500 right, for instance. So you have a weaker side, which is your 3 right. Okay. So in this situation, as you start to build your business, if you build too many legs, you have too many situations where you're getting spread way too thin. Okay. So if you came in here and tried to take some of these sponsorships and divvy them up here, you would have to take 3 people here and put them there. You take 3 people here and put them there. Matt's business no longer is as solid. Bob's business is no longer as solid. Whoever here isn't as solid. Whoever's here is not as solid. Your business isn't as solid. So now what you're doing is you're working 4 legs, 4 individuals, 4 different teams, and it's all on your shoulders. And you might still have a full-time job. This is one of the reasons from a basic standpoint. Again, if I talk with you tomorrow and your situation might be different, I might tweak it a little bit and say, yeah, get after it, baby. Build 4 legs. You can do this. But for the average person, the safest, most effective rate of return is to do it this way, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take all your customers, which you should have a ton of them. You should be getting these health assessments out like crazy. You can put all your customers on the inside of your 2 and your 3. This is where you're going to put your customers. Follow me? That's it. You're going to start building. Now, what ends up happening is this. When a leader emerges, so John over here, Susie, who goes achiever, makes $400 or $500 in a week, maybe starts to make a consistent paycheck. She's starting to build her own business. She's starting to do her own trainings. She's plugging into every webcast that you're doing. She's calling you individually. You don't have to call her anymore. She starts to do some of the activities. She starts to show you that she's a leader, right? The moment you have a leader emerge in your business, you don't need to sponsor that leg anymore, friends. Okay? You're going to go start building somewhere else. Now, when that leader emerges, realize that doesn't mean you leave that person. When they're ready to do this on their own, it's important that you step up to the plate and start serving them more. You need to be more on the phone with them, calling them, asking for their goals, teaching them now some of the things of what it means to be a leader. Teach them how to do webcast. Teach them how to do their own conference calls. Teach them how to do their own goals for their teams. Teach them how to do incentives for their teams. Teach them how to do those things. The things that you have been learning how to do, you need to now teach how to pass the torch. All those things, you have to now start looking at from a perspective of not just me doing them, but now how do I teach somebody else to do those things? That's where leadership comes into play. This is where you start to create a system and you start duplicating deep into your business, right? So at this point, you don't need to necessarily sponsor in that leg anymore. You can move to another leg. And if you can get to a point where you're maximizing, you hit that 5,000 point left and right, you're able to earn a reentry, fantastic. If not, it's okay. You just go build the inside of your 3, and here's how you validate, or here's how you decide where to build. If you got 2 legs that you're building, one leg develops a leader, so now you need to go find a new leg to build. Here's what you do. You take the weakest leg in your business, which in this situation, the right side of your number 1 is 2,000, the left side of your number 1 is 3,500. So the weaker side is the 2,000 side. Of your number 3 business center, you ask, what's the weaker side of my 3? It's not 2,000. It's obviously the left side. Okay? It's not the right, it's the left. So this would be the place that you would go build. Number 1, to pay you on the weak side of your 3, but also to pay you on the weak side of your 1. If you started building the weak side of your 2, it's not going to pay you on your 1 because this is the stronger side of your entire business, right? You need to build the weak side of your business and get paid twice here now on your number 3. If you have a reentry, that's where you put it. Immediately, front line. Now's the time to go start building your business. And you're going to start building one side of that reentry. Do not go build both sides of that reentry yet, okay? And I'll tell you why in a minute. As you start to build one side of this reentry, number 1, build 2 legs, 1 leg, 2 leg, preferably your outside 2 legs. Help solidify the associates in those 2 legs. By building too many legs in the beginning, cause you to spread yourself too thin. Now watch. If you now have a leg over here with an achiever who's now becoming solid, right? And you don't have to sponsor here anymore, how many legs are you still only sponsoring in? You're still sponsoring here, and now you're sponsoring here. So now you're still only sponsoring in 2 legs of your business. You don't have to keep sponsoring in 3 legs. If you build here, you're sponsoring 4 legs. You're spreading yourself too thin. I have never gotten to a situation where I've had to sponsor in more than 2 legs in my business to have my business grow, because I've waited until a leader emerged. And when a leader emerged, I started to work that leader, and then I started to go build a new leg and start to solidify and find a leader in that new leg. You follow me? And you're going to build this 1 leg deep. Do not go build the other side just yet. Again, it goes back to solidifying the income, finding that leader. You want to build depth. You want to build solid. Okay, don't chase the short-term income. I'm telling you, you're going to end up going back and rebuilding it again, right? So place your reentry there. Let's say you get this leg to be doing 2,000 points. Now where's your next leg to build? If a leader emerges here, now this entire organization of your business, your number 1 right, is now generating 4,000 points in volume. Now your weak side is over here. Okay, if there's no leader that emerges in this position, here it is. When your 3rd leg becomes stronger, this was your 3rd leg. Start building back on your other leg, which is now your 1 right, 1 left. And then you go back, ask yourself the same question. Look at your number 2. What's the weak side? Do you have a leader in your business? If you do not have a leader that's doing work, you need to continue to sponsor until you find a leader in that leg. Okay? Do not go build here yet until you find a leader. If a leader emerges and you're able to step away because that leader wants to grow their own business, that is when, friends, in this scenario of 4,000 right, 3,500 left, the weak side of your number 1 is this side. The weak side now of your number 2 is now the right side of it, because now you have a leader emerging. Now you can start sponsoring on the right side of your 3, on the right side of your 2. Now here's what's happened. You have 4 legs that are building, right? Your right side of your number 3 has a leader. Your right side of number 2 has a leader. You can now start supporting, attending their trainings as an expert, going to their presentations as an expert, but allowing them to start stepping up. It's hard sometimes for people to grow into leadership, but you have to teach them how to do it. That's why it's important that you start reading leadership books. There's stuff in here that teaches you how to speak in leadership language to your new emerging leaders. Now watch what happens. You have 4 legs growing. These 2 outside legs have leaders. How many legs are you still building on your own? 2. You're only sponsoring on this one. You're sponsoring on this one. Now watch what happens. If this leg becomes solid and this side of your business becomes more solid than the right side, guess what you do? You come back over here and you start building the other side of your number 4 business center. It's very simple. It's a very simple mathematical equation that once you understand it, you can maximize it. Mainly this. If you can go out and sponsor 1,000 people this year, you're not going to like my system. But I can't do that. I can tell you what I can do. I can sponsor a few people a month, maybe. And in that situation, I'm able then to go build this way. Very slow, very consistent, and very solid. I have never been a very big sponsor monster. What I have done is I've found good people to use the product. I've found really good people to join the business. And I've got a lot of really great people that have stepped up as leaders. And they've created their own teams, their own organizations, their own training platforms, etc., etc., etc. So this is a little bit more advanced, but I will tell you we are recording this. So if you want to go back and review this and ask me questions about it, I'll tell you it's very, very simple math. All right. I talked about the leadership bonus. Because of time, I'm not going to go through this, but I will tell you this is the 3% of the weekly earnings of the 6 ways that we can get paid. This is one of them. So as an Emerald Director, you can see what the weekly minimums are out of 3 of your business centers. Chris Harrell, Ruby Director, Gina Hunter, Cindy Arias, Linda Duke, Gold Directors, my mom, Gold Director. A lot of activity when it comes to earning bonuses. You can see that it's basically additional income for helping the organization as a whole and the company of USANA. I will tell you, financial freedom can be yours, friends. When Jacqueline first started her business in 2005, her first year, she made $14,000. 4 weeks in 2012, we made just under $17,000 for the month. And you can see, just like in the averages that we show you, here was the every weekly check for those 4 weeks. So we were averaging a little over $4,000 per week. We're pretty close to the averages of what the Emeralds make. So I want you to understand that this has been a very slow and steady process. This was 7 years in the making. 7 years worth of investment into time, money, health products, trainings, webcasting, reading, self-educating, all of these variables. I haven't slowed down. I've been doing the same. Actually, I probably have slowed down a lot compared to where I was. Same pace, consistent, doing the same activities over and over and over again. Contacting people, presenting, get them on the health assessment, get them in the product. Once they love the product, show them the business if they're interested, and then teach them how to do it. It's very, very simple. So the question is this. Are you ready to reach? I love this question because what this question does is it puts a bug in your head. It plants a seed. I love what Matthew McConaughey said on the Oscars. He says what he looks to reach out for, to chase, is himself every 10 years ahead. He says, I look up to God, I follow through with my family, and I chase myself. He says, I look at myself where I should be 10 years from now, and I work every day to try and get there. I want to ask yourself, I want me to ask you, what are your current goals right now? Do you have them written down? And if you do, did you do today what was necessary to accomplish that goal at whatever set point in time that you set out to accomplish that goal? Have you broken your goals down backwards to a daily activity? And are you fulfilling those daily activities so that you actually accomplish that goal? Chris Harl on Facebook today said, what's your retirement date? Or what's your financial freedom date? I think is what he said. There's a lot of people on there putting their financial date of when they want to quit their job because of the USANA income. Friends, let me ask you a question. It's fantastic to have the goal. That's the first step, is to have the goal. You don't know how to run a mile unless you know the mile is 4 laps, right? Now that you know that you got to run a mile, the question is, how long is the mile for you? What is it going to take? How much income do you need? You need to break it down, and what do the daily activities need to look like in order for you to create that income in your USANA business? If you don't know how to do that, you can go to illuminatetruth.com, click the associate login button, and go find the follow-through training program that Chris Hall and I recorded. It comes with a workbook. You listen to the audio and you fill out the workbook. It literally helps you work backwards based on your goals, what you set out to accomplish. It's going to take those numbers and work you backwards so that you can find out exactly what the daily activities need to be and the daily volume requirements. How much volume do you need to be moving in your business on a daily and weekly basis in order for you to accomplish your goal 30, 60, 90, 6 months or a year out from now? If you haven't done that yet, you need to go download that follow-through program and go through it immediately. It's important that you understand a seed has been planted when you set a goal. The question is, are you ready to reach out for it? Are you really ready to do what's necessary to truly create the financial freedom that you need? I'm not special. I have not done anything up to this day that any of you could not do. All I have done is actually done it. I've done very simple steps, very easy steps. I've talked to people. Some people told me no. I talked to some more people. Some people told me yes on the products. Talked to some more people. Some people told me yes to the business. And I just continually started to rebuild, and continue to help my associates become leaders. And I just never quit. So I'll tell you right now, every single one of you has the opportunity. Whoa, where'd I go? There we go. Every single one of you has the opportunity over the next few weeks to plug in to this 8-week online boot camp. This is going to be a very dynamic, very in-depth, as you can tell as I kick it off tonight, a very in-depth training program. It's going to teach you some of the most important variables of this business. If you look at the schedule down here, next week we have Dr. Imran, who's a pediatric surgeon. He's also the director of the Children's Hospital in Corpus Christi, Texas. This guy not only is a surgeon, not only has 3 beautiful kids, has a family, is married, is constantly doing surgeries, but he also is the director of the Children's Hospital. He's managing people. He owns a business. He also has a nonprofit organization where he's donating money to 5Ks, to schools, et cetera, called Spring Cure. He does an online training program. He's got personal trainers that do a virtual training program like this via webcast. Guys, he's brilliant. He's not brilliant. He's a genius. I've met this gentleman. I've got plenty of time to speak and listen with and talk with him. And I will tell you, his depth of knowledge about this product, about the importance of health and wellness in your life, is unlike anybody I've ever met to this day in USANA or in my life for that matter. You have the opportunity to have yourself, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your people at your church, every customer, prospect, associate that you know in your life, to be able to listen from a man like Dr. Imran next Monday night at 8 o'clock Central Time. Personally, I think you would be crazy not to take full advantage of this. This, my friends, is what you call time leverage. All you have to do is get really good at promoting the next event, making sure your family and friends are logged into this. And we've made this so simple. All they have to do is go to tiwebcast.com, select the drop-down menu, click on Monday, March 10th, click it, put in their first, last, and email, and they're registered for the event. 24 hours prior to the webcast, they're going to get a reminder, and 1 hour before the webcast, they're going to get another reminder. And all they have to do is click the link and log in and do exactly what you're doing right now. Friends, this system has become easy. Team Illuminate is making this system simple for you. It's up to you. All you now have to do is reach out to all of those family and all of those friends and get them plugging in to USANA's system through Team Illuminate. And I promise you, you're going to see your business start to change. I hope tonight was helpful. I hope you learned something. I hope you took a ton of notes, because it took me a long time to put this information together, but I also know that it was a lot of information. We have recorded it. We'll figure out a way to make this available to you guys. I hope you loved it. I hope you learned something. This is Brian Bohlke from San Antonio. Guys, I love you. I love the Team Illuminate family. I love my USANA family. With that being said, I'm signing off from San Antonio. You guys have a great evening and a fantastic week. Work till Friday, baby. One of the best things I was ever told, one of the best things I work on every week now is to make my check bigger than it was last Friday. And if that's all you do every week, in 52 weeks, I promise you, your income is going to be a lot better than it was a year ago. So make your check bigger than it was last Friday. Figure out what you got to do to go help somebody else get healthy. Figure out what you got to do to help somebody else get a little bit more income or free time in their life to devote more to their family or their church or whatever they want to do. Make your check bigger than it was last Friday. I promise you, in 52 weeks, you're going to love where you're at in your life. Brian Bohlke for San Antonio signing off. Love you guys. Bye-bye.